right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of We Create Music. I am your host, B. Vaughn. Today we have an amazing artist, Truzy. What's up, family?
What's up, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, man.
Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
So let's start.
Let's go.
Very beginning. So just tell us how you got started.
Wow. Okay. I really started off playing the drums in church, of course. Kind of just had like a mentor that picked me up, got into a little trouble, you know what I mean? And I needed a gateway. Mm-hmm. So he learned to channel my energy. He used to go down to the church every Sunday and play the drums. And me and my sisters, we used to listen to these old records, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I learned how to write music, actually, was listening to old records. Like Nelly's Country Grammar, that's the first album I actually wrote. And we would listen to it from top to bottom, play the songs, you know, pause, play old cassette tape, and bring out an old notepad. And we would just write down all the lyrics we heard. So at the time, I didn't know like that would transition to what I'm doing now. Okay. I just always had a passion. You know, I think that was just running my bloodline. And then I just started, one day I'm in middle school, I remember. I'm sitting at the lunch table with my cousin, they call him Doughboy. You know, Alonzo, he might watch it, you know what I'm saying? So Doughboy, he was the rapper in 6th grade. So listen to him spit, and I'm like, man, I kind of been working on this all summer. So I just jumped out, started rapping, you know what I'm saying, just freestyling. And next thing you know, we battling, and every day, that's what we did. We just battled all the way through high school, and I started recording when I was 14, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's really how I started. Yeah. It's like I guess that might be the regular old answer.
Yeah. So I was sitting here thinking like, how many people get started, one, in the church? Right? Whether it's playing keys, singing in the choir, playing the drums, but really getting started in the church. Yeah. And then that transitioning into kind of, being the forerunner for your career.
Yeah. Like, I mean, my mom, she's an evangelist, right? And my dad's a deacon. So I was really the kid that went to church every Sunday. We went to primarily all Bible studies, all the revivals, all the Bible studies, watched all the church services, all the functions. We were at all your vacation Bible schools.
Yeah, VBSs.
Yeah, right. Yep. I can't sing word for lick, but I was on the choir, you know what I mean? Like I did it all. But it taught me so much from just not only being able to speak out publicly, you know, because my aunt, she was the head of the youth group at the time. So she just would love to throw me out there and be like, you got to read or you got to say something to the people. And then that just transitioned me out to outside those doors, you know what I mean, where you kind of free, you know. And it's amazing how much you evolve when you get older, you know. And that just... Now I'm appreciative of it. At that time, man, I was rebellious. You know what I mean? I definitely was like, I was running from, you know, because they would call me the preacher. Now it makes sense. You know what I mean? That's my music.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So like the forecasting, or at least the foretelling, or the prophetic message to say, hey, this is kind of what you're going to be doing. But maybe not in a biblical sense, I guess, but more from an artistry perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I look at like my shows or like my music. It's kind of like I look at the audience at the shows is like my congregation, right? And at that moment, I have the opportunity to like kind of give them something to look forward to, like a piece of hope. And so it's like if I could do that, it's a spiritual thing for me. It's therapeutic, you know. Like this was my outlet. This is probably why I'm still alive today. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't do music, bro, yeah, I know I would be somewhere else. You know what I mean? So it's like I hold on to it so tight and I make sure that I treat it like with the spirituality that I have for it. You know what I mean? It's like so much gratitude. My sister's gonna laugh when she hear I like talk about us writing those records. Cause we really did. And my dad, man, just a side note, like my especially my dad's side of the family, they're like big music heads, you know what I mean? My uncles and all. And my dad's like me, he's the youngest out of his, you know what I'm saying, out of his group. I'm the youngest out of my family. So he would have like this old cassette briefcase, right?
Oh, I remember those.
Right.
Yeah.
The brown joint, you know.
Yeah, the brown joint with all the... Yes.
With all the, and we used to just take
All
those
the
tapes,
cassettes
all the
lined up.
cassette tapes. I'm talking about all your cameos, your funkadelics. Like this is what we was jamming to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would take road trips, and this what was blasting. So he gave me like that balance because, of course, like I said, I knew no matter what we did on Saturday, I was going to church Sunday. You know what I mean? It was hard getting up. I knew I was going, but then I would get back and we back playing. I'm back there playing those tapes. My mom like, you just got a church, turn up, man. We about to play these. You know what I'm saying? Or let's turn the radio on. You know, even if we got to put headphones in so she don't hear it, we gonna make sure that we get what we need out of it because it serves the same purpose. You know what I mean? In a sense. But, you know, I can't. All those tapes got radio interviews all over them now. For real. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Yeah, yeah. That's very interesting as far as just really how people get started in their career and how it's, well, like I said, once again, it's kind of rooted in the church. Now, how I got started was not in the church at all.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, it's just I just wanted to be a producer. I was a singer growing up. Never sang in the church. Never played an instrument in the church. So it's always fascinating when I hear people say, and I've interviewed a ton of guests that literally their story is, oh, yeah, when I was growing up, I played keys at the church, or I played drums at the church, or I sang in the church choir, or I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And it's very, for me, it's refreshing to see that, you know, even from my own belief system, that everybody used to get started
in church.
In the church.
Like, just, man, so, all right, I'm from Aiken, South Carolina, right? And it's a neighboring county to James Brown's hometown, right? Now, I got a argument here. Okay, I'm from the birthplace of hip hop. Okay, a lot of people will argue that down and say no, I'm from New York, but I understand the roots of it, right? The roots of it is that you have soul music, which created the funk music. The funk music is what gave us the hip hop that we have today. So the godfather of soul is whom? You know what I'm saying? James Brown. I'm from the birthplace of hip hop. He was one of the first rappers besides Gil. You know what I mean? But I said all that to say, knowing James Brown's story, he started off in the church as well.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? Your Ray Charles, he started off in the church as well. Like all of the greats, for the most part,
started off in church.
They started off in church. That was their platform, and they took that. Cause that was the first opportunity you had just to get like an honest react. Sometimes not honest. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. Sometimes not honest. Sometimes not honest. But that was the opportunity where you got like the honest reaction of you being able to like use your voice and see how the people like gravitate towards it and like cheer you on. Even like give different tries here and there. Like you said, a lot of your keyboards, they play drums, they play bass, they play guitar. And that just, I believe, like, it shaped us into who we became. And then whatever we did with that outside of those walls, like that determined exactly where we would go. You know what I mean? And that was literally I was doing everything in the church. Usher, everything you can name. You know, because if I didn't, I was going to sleep.
Yeah, your parents were, you know, pretty much in charge, right?
Well, yeah, they were like some of the top people.
Yeah, some of the top people. Yeah. So they were looking at you like, hey, no, you're going to do some of this work.
Oh, yeah, like that was for sure. Like, especially the older I got, my pop's like, nah, man, you doing it. Like,
you doing this.
Right.
Like, you going to lay the covers on people. Man. You going to usher people in. You going to be the cook.
And I ain't going to lie, look, me being the usher was just a segue for me to get to the girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you dress up real fresh.
You dressed up real fresh.
You can't sit down like that. You got to let me walk.
Posturing yourself.
Yeah.
So how you doing?
And you get to pose at the door. How y'all doing?
Come on, man.
Come on.
You need somewhere to sit.
You the first
sit right here, right here.
And now she in the back. Hey, how you doing? Hey, baby. What's happening?
Yo, that's the truth, though. That's the truth. Man, so talk about your music.
Man, it's my story. I think growing up, I realized I'm a big like Malcolm X guy in a sense. Of course, like we like the MLKs. I love like the Malcolm story. It just was so rough and rugged, you know. And the brother never had the opportunity to create an autobiography, right? And so like ever since I started writing, that was my mission. Was like, what if anything was to happen to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna tell my story? I really can't trust the people to tell my story because they're gonna give it from their perspective.
Yeah, from their perspective.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I started writing, that's what I was wanting to give, was like my perspective of like the first person tell of exactly what was going on in my life. But it was like my original name was J News when I first came, like when I first started rapping. And the whole premise of it was, all right, I'm the news reporter in the neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, and that's truly what it was, because like we didn't necessarily come from like the ghetto projects. We just came from the hood where, you know what I'm saying, it's a nice neighborhood. I got a line that say, man, I said the neighborhood was nice, but the people in it crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like the neighborhood was nice, but like everybody in there, like we kind of throwed off. So, but I was the kid that all the cats that I grew up with, they knew how I was raised. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that, I don't know if today we have OGs, but that's what I would call it. Like my OGs, and some of them, we went to school together, but they were just far more advanced in what they were doing, that they're like, you can hang with us, but now you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Your mama gone.
Because they know how you were raised. Yeah. And they know your mama.
Right.
And their mama's like, as soon as let me find out.
Exactly. And they're like, bro, you can't. I got in trouble at school one time. Just throw it out there. I got in trouble at school one time. My pops, he like, oh, you think you grown? He put me out. I'm like 13. You know what I'm saying? And I remember at that time, I'm like, I'm out here in the streets. It's late. You feel me? I'm out here. I'm out here with them now. Right. And they catch me in the street and they're like, what you doing out here? Right. And I'm like, man, I just got in trouble in school, bro. You know how they're like, well, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? And that sparked the light bulb in me, like, dang, the cats I'm looking up to that's doing everything I thought was cool, they ain't even proud of me, like, doing what they doing. They're like, you better than that. And that just, and of course I wound up going back home, and like my music became that of like everything that I was seeing, that's what we writing about. That's what we telling, because they will always tell me like, bro, somebody got to tell the story. And if you the one that's out here doing what we doing, who gonna tell? Who
gonna tell your story?
Yeah, who gonna tell? Like, who gonna tell the truth about like our neighborhood? Who gonna set everybody free in a sense? And so that's where it really, I've embodied it up until this point, to where I might not go home, but everybody know where I'm from. You know what I mean? Those people still hit me up, and they be so like, they're proud of like, yo, you doing that? Because they saw it from just planting the seed up till now, and I make sure that I pay homage to that. But of course, like me being from South Carolina, we never really had like real major artists. But my hometown, I'm like, 2.5 hours from Charlotte. I'm 3 hours from Atlanta. You know what I mean? We're like 5-6 hours from Florida. So I call it the South of the South. It's the only state in the South with South in it. So we are the South. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? So like, you take all the states in the South, whatever major artists you have, and that's what you, in a sense, you gonna find that back in where I'm from. So like, that's what my music is like. It's like your UGKs, like your 8-Ball MJGs. Oh yeah. It's your Outkast, of course. You know what I'm saying? It's your Trick Daddies, your Lukes, it's your Kilo Ali's. You know what I mean? Like, it's all of that just put inside of a melting pot. And the reason why, sorry.
No, that's good. Look, my phone's over here going off too, and I'm like,
and I thought I turned it all the way off, man. But like, it just became, it's a whole melting pot. So I always want to make the music that I grew up on and I love. So like, I wanted to create something that I could love just as much as that music, because that music timeless. You know what I'm saying? I still put UGK in to this day, and it jammed like it came out yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I play that from top to bottom. I still, man, I play Outkast so much, man. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, cause it's just like, where'd you find these? You know, like even the instrumentation is ridiculous, to this point. Man, you got to be kidding me. Like, come on, man. Yeah, so like, it's just, even the way that they structure the production is rare. Yeah. Like, and that music truly came from a place that was like, it was deeper than money. It was deeper than flashiness. It was deeper than like the cars, like everything they said and did, man, it served a purpose. You know, like when Andre jumped up at the Source Awards and said like the South got something to say, like I still feel that to this day. And when you listen to the music, it's obvious of like, oh, y'all really had something that you really wanted to say. You know, so that's the music is. What am I gonna say? You know, like if I no longer have a voice and you press play, what would I still have to say? Right. And that's my music. Yeah, it's from the soul, man. I make soul music.
Make soul music.
Yeah, I make soul music.
Okay, so let's segue.
Let go.
So what happened? What happened from what you just described as far as that the roots of music and the feeling of music and the message of music to music of today?
All right. What happened was that we didn't cherish it in a sense. It's not necessarily taken care of. You know, it's like having a baby, and when the baby's first born, like, you know, you got to hold the head because you can't let the neck fall or whatever. And we thinking like, bro, if the neck's fall back, the head gonna fall off.
Something happened to the baby.
Like,
like, oh my goodness,
the baby dead. Like, nah, you know. And then when the baby kind of gets older, we like release it and just let everyone put their hands in on it, right? And like, remember when music was regionalized, in a sense?
Yeah.
To where it was like this. You
knew this was South music. You could tell it had that feeling. It had that rhythm. You knew what was West Coast. You knew the music came from New York and Philly and Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just let everybody in.
Everybody,
you know,
like everybody touch it.
Yeah, you can't let everybody in your house. You know what I'm saying? Now, you let everybody in your house, you just got a whole bunch of spirits in here that you don't even know where they come from, and the energy just feels weird because even though the person physically isn't there, the energy still is. You know what I'm saying? And like that's what I feel like really what happened with the music. It's like we stopped truly caring about like what we saying, who we catering to. Like music used to be, music was our political platform.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I love making like the booty shaped music. I love I love making the vast majority because it's soul music. You get what I'm saying? It's like we go through our ups and downs, trials, tribulations. So I want to give all those experiences in my real life. But music was the voice of the people. So for all the people out of the community that didn't have anything to say, they could play their favorite artist. And you knew like that's what you stand for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's like I don't even know what you stand for because, you know, you telling me you this one thing, but you know, we kind of jamming to this right here and it just make our head nod. And it's no longer it's saturated like everything else. At this point in time, like everything up till now is saturated. Like the way we socialize is saturated. You know what I mean? The way we relate to each other is saturated. Love is saturated. That's music. You know, like, because all of that is what it took for us to create the music. Now everybody just goes in and be like, man, I ain't even got to think, bro. I just rap all day and then, you know, we just come up with a track. And it's like,
I just make stuff up.
Right, I just make stuff up.
I don't even like rap. I heard somebody say, I don't even know who the dude was, but he was like, I don't even like rap.
Yeah.
I like the money though.
Yeah.
And so I just put whatever words or whatever just kind of sounds right, and I just do that. But I don't even like what I do. I just like the money that I make.
And that's the sad part, because if you could show a person that you're willing to do whatever it takes for the dollar, then they're going to make you do whatever it takes to get the dollar.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, that's just, so it doesn't, like, that's something that I feel, something I don't do is that I don't chase money. Right, I'm a huge Bob Marley fan. You know what I mean? I'm a huge Robert Nesta Marley guy. You know what I'm saying? So like with Bob, you know, he has a quote that's like, you know, you don't chase money. Money is numbers, and numbers is infinite. So it's like once you start chasing a dollar, you looking for the second dollar.
Yeah, and the next one.
Because you're never going to have enough. So now you're just going to have to keep on doing a whole bunch of like, what is it? Less fulfilling things just to say that you have something to cover it all up, you know. And like I really got a passion and love for this because I know what it's done for me. You know, I've seen it. I've like, man, if we could still play Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On" in 2019, that tells you something. You know, like, and it still resonates. If children born in 2000 could still play Tupac, and they don't even know who this cat was, you know what I mean? And it still resonates to this day of what was being said, then that's saying something. So it's like, why don't we truly put a care in the world about the music that we make? Yeah. You know, because you want to be able to, I'm about legacy. You know what I mean? I'm about like legacy, longevity. I want like my kids to be able to play my music and be like, man, granddad was fire. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
Granddad was living with us. You know what I mean?
Like, this is the same dude?
Right. And not even knowing, this is what we experienced as well. And I feel like that's what happened. We let them people get in here. Like, for real. Like, you know, like, just to be honest, like, every genre of music that that Black culture has created, it was all pure at one point in time, right? And then once we allowed it to get colonized, and it's funny, I've been jamming Beyonce's new record,
haven't heard it.
Move Forever, right? Probably played it 50 times in the past 24 hours. And Jay-Z literally said the line when he was like, man, I feel like if I wasn't here, the game would have been colonized. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's true, because if you can't keep it in its purest form at some point, that's what happens, is like people find a way to grab it and pull abstracts of it. And once you start pulling abstracts of it, then it's no longer pure. You learn how to take it back to the lab and you dip it in something that makes it seem like it's more like in a steroid approach, right? Yeah. And then it grows, but it's really not growing. It just looks big.
It looks. The perception.
Yeah. And then we just throw the money there, because who controls the money?
Well, the money looks like it you know, makes it all worthwhile.
Exactly. But you know, what's $1 worth? It takes $2 to make $1. So what's $1 worth? Is it like, because my soul, my soul ain't cheap and it ain't free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It really ain't for sale, because any dollar amount, it cannot be paid for me to change who I really am and what I'm trying to present to the people, man. You know, because that's all I have. I'm not an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a politician. I'm literally I'm an artist that's really serious about it. You know what I mean? That really takes that kind of care and say, hey, this is my baby. And when I give you my baby, make sure you take care of my baby. You know what I'm saying? Now, if my baby come back, scratch, anything like that, we got problems, because it's my kid. Yeah. You know, we ain't going not sad about our kids. And that's what it is.
Yeah, man. Wow. That's deep. There's a lot of insight and information that people really need to hear that they don't even probably consider. Right. As far as just really thinking about their own influence. You know, I'm kind of reminded of a couple of things. I'm a huge J. Cole fan. So J. Cole's 1985. He kind of said some of the same things, like, have you ever thought about your impact? He said, you know, they kind of just want to see you dap. They want to see you pop a pill. They want to see you tatted from your face to your heel, right? And so he's kind of throwing all these things out. And he's like, y'all not even really caring about the message you putting out. Nope. Y'all just really just want to just live life and just live it crazy, you know. And so I kind of think about that. But I got kids that don't listen to rap. Wow. Like, period. And it's because, see, they didn't grow up. Of course, they didn't grow up in the same era that we did, right? And that would be like weird. I would be dad and even my kids, right? But still, like, I do believe, I forgot who I was in conversation with somebody, and I was telling somebody that my kids don't listen to you know, rap music, and they said, well, that's because they live in the generation today. But if they grew up on the music that you listened to when you were growing up, they would love rap music. Yeah. Because I don't listen to the radio, but I listen to music back in the day.
Right.
Still to this day. I mean, I still listen to Dre. I still listen to Snoop.
Yep.
I still listen to Wu-Tang. Still listen to Method Man, Redman, Outkast. You know, because I grew up listening to all of those. Man. Now today, I don't like. They don't even like the music. They're like that. We don't even know what they're saying or why they're saying what they're saying. We don't even know the noises that they're making and why they're making these types of noises. But one of my sons listens to like 80s music, which I find to be so refreshing. That it's 80s music like Queen, right? Or like Nirvana, or even I have another child that listens to cinematic music, and it's different type, but it's amazing music. But they like music that's provocative and that makes them think, or that kind of calls them to action. But yeah, they don't listen to hip hop. I barely listen to hip hop. I mean, like J. Cole or Kendrick or music back in the day.
Frequency. It's about frequency. That like when the certain music gives off a certain frequency. Like everything, man, even things that stand still give off frequency. It still vibrates. Yep. And like certain frequencies open up certain parts of our brain. You know what I mean? And I wish I had like the exact numbers of like, like 180 hertz is going to open up. You know what I mean? Like but like all in all, part of the music that everyone gravitates to is because it's a lower frequency. So like if we're not in tune and in touch with our higher self, then like we're not even thinking that there's something greater in this. You know, like for the most part, I don't know if you recall when people would listen to, let's say somebody like when Jay-Z actually started getting up there in the ranks as far as the money wise, and people were like, we don't even know what he's talking about anymore, right? Like, because it makes you think. Like, now I have to go look and see what a DeLorean is. Now I have to see, like, what's a Maybach? Because I was the first person we really heard talk about these kind of things. But it sparks your interest. But unfortunately, we don't like to think. We want people that's going to think for us. Just tell us exactly what it is. So if you tell me that you're going to pop a whole bunch of downers and uppers, I'm going to listen because my life is a bunch of ups and downs. And even if I don't want, like, even if that's not really who I am, you speaking what I truly want. You know what I mean? As opposed to how do I dig myself up out of this hole? Like, I love Currency, right? I'm a huge Currency guy, man. And so not solely because he was independent artist, right? That's really went through the dirt, went through the mud, and he came out on top to now where he hasn't had to compromise who he was yet. And this man is dropping a project every month. Wow. You know what I mean? And he's dropping a project every month, and all his shows are sold out. But dig this. It's also the kind of music that he makes, the kind of music where he's still in his hometown. He still goes in his neighborhood. He's still out there in the streets. Ain't nobody shooting at him. Ain't nobody robbing him. You know what I mean? None of the craziness. And then you have to ask yourself why. But I also love it because I'm an independent artist. I need game on how to even elevate my craft to where I could get to those sold out shows and you know, still being able to coexist in my neighborhood in a sense. Yeah. You know, so I listen to where I truly aspire to be, not necessarily like where I am. And like, you know, sometimes I like the craziness from time to time because I understand it in a sense. But even in that, I only listen to those that still have those messages. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm still able to pull messages out of the quote unquote the ratchetness. You know what I mean? Right. Like it's like the old head that you knew. He crazy, man. He throw it off, but you know what I mean? But he always dropping jewels on you, even if you looking out like, man, why am I listening to you? But I'm gonna listen to you. You know, I'm gonna listen to you because obviously there's something there that you're saying that's gonna give me some nuggets of information that I need to progress forward. Because in the words of my grandfather, like you even a baby could teach you something. Yeah, that's powerful. Like, even a baby could teach you something. Like if you're not able to learn from like the smallest of the small, then it's impossible to really just expect to get something from the grandest of things. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like I said, in the words of my grandfather, you could learn anything, even from a little baby. So I just started No pun intended. That's funny. But you know what I mean? But, even him. But I get my lessons from like just the craziest things. I get signs and stuff from like the most craziest things. It's not crazy to me, right? But then I tell people about them. They be like, "Why'd you get that from?" You know what I mean? Like, how'd you find that?
Right.
Like, man, it's just it's being able to read between the lines, and I'm a visionary, right? And I'm not necessarily just the artist. The art, as far as music, is my vehicle. You know what I mean? But like in full, I'm a visionary. The ability to see the unseen. You kind of you could say the unsaid, hear the unheard. You know what I mean? And like that's where my music is. You know what I mean? That's where my art, that's where my craft is. It's like, I was born in 1989, right? So I'm the last generation of what it was like before technology, what it was that introduced the technology, and we broke it in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm the last.
Yeah, you like that last generation that kind of falls into.
So I have a job. You know what I mean? Like I have a responsibility. It's not about like, okay, let's put Truzy on a big billboard and nah, it's not about that. It's about I'm the OG, but I'm the young one at the same time. Like I have the opportunity to pull like the youth up and show them the better way, same way my cats did. And I could also bring my guys and be like, nah, this is where we at. You know what I mean? Like, because we can't, as much as we would love to hold on to what once was, right? Everything must evolve. But it's our job to make sure that it evolves properly.
Right.
Because you don't want to old.
Yeah. And that's kind of what happened with the music, is that hip hop evolved.
Right.
But it evolved in a way. Now, some people may say, nah, this is the natural progression of how it should be.
Yeah.
But I personally think, no knock on any artist that's out there, but I think it progressed in a way that was not really 100% beneficial to those who laid the foundation for hip hop, those who kind of led the charge for hip hop. And because I don't hear Method Man I know they're gonna be like, oh, these are old heads, but I don't hear Method Man putting out albums, Redman, and then when they do, they don't get the amount of love that these other Lil Baby and Uzi Vert and
right,
Lil Squirt and whoever, I don't even know half these names, but they don't get the same level of, I guess, even respect.
The reason why, I believe, all right, hip hop is the pulse of the youth, right?
Yep.
That's what it's always been.
Yeah, that's what it's always been.
And like the Lil Babies, the Uzi Verts of the world, like just, they're currently the pulse of the youth. Like I always have this sometimes I have this debate about whether or not does the culture reflect the music, or does the music reflect the culture? And kind of me growing up in the culture, like I feel like the music reflects the culture, right? That like you take exactly what I said about how I started my music off as like, I'm taking everything that I'm seeing and now I'm presenting it onto this canvas. So like I don't know, somewhere in Omaha, you know what I mean, Nebraska, I don't know how they living, but I could present my canvas to them and they might think it's the wildest thing they ever heard of. But I bring it back to my home front and it's normalized, like that's everyday living, So I feel like that's really what happens is like the youth of like the Method Man, the Redmans, they're grown and now they have children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now our children are being raised inside of this new climate, which is, don't get me wrong, it's a lot faster. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot faster.
But as I said previously, I'm part of the generation that introduced the technology. Like when we were in school, man, they literally forced us, I hate to say forced, but this is you had to get high school credits in order to graduate. So honestly, it's a forceful thing. If you want to graduate, you have to take this computer class, and you have to be able to type. Oh yeah, you got to be able to know how to use. At that time, it was like Ask Jeeves and Google.
Yeah, Ask Jeeves. I remember that.
I'm pulling them out my pocket.
Ask Jeeves is what came before Google.
Right. That was
our Google
exactly
back then. Yeah,
like Ask Jeeves. You pull up
Ask Jeeves,
and all the school computers you had Ask Jeeves, and you type in a question of like, what is the new Nike? You know what I'm saying?
Jeeves will give you that answer.
Jeeves will give you the answer.
Yeah.
And even though the internet wasn't that fast, watch how everything moved. I mean, we got introduced to like Yahoo chat rooms. You know what I mean? So that was our social media. You know what I mean? So AOL, you would spend all that time chatting with people all around the country that you never even met before. So because of that, everything sped up evolution. Once again, that had to evolve. Mark Zuckerberg, i.e., he pulls his own way of like, man, how do I like normalize a chat room? Let's put it onto this Facebook. So now it's basically a chat room specifically. It was specifically for his university. Yeah, you know what I mean. Then it evolved to more. Then they allowed high schools in. So now we're watching how everything speeds up. So we have a generation now that they don't even know how any of this came about. They just come in with it. You know what I mean? And now that they have it, it's like, I don't have to go to the library. I don't have to do all this. I could just pull out my phone.
You put your phone to get everything you want.
Like, I don't, honestly, I do majority of my work off my cell phones, man. So like now they're giving us this faster life from a young age, but it's been happening all the time. We just never had access to see it.
But do you think we caused this though? Do you think so? So okay, so I grew up in the era where crack was prevalent, right? I mean, I grew up in the hood, so you would see crack vials everywhere on the ground. I had relatives that were involved in that, whether they used or sold or whatever the case was, and so it was a part of our upbringing. But there was rules that we had.
Correct.
There were certain levels of courtesy and respect, like you talked about. Your pops kicked you out when you was 13. Like, no, get out. And your old dudes were like, nah, man, you need to go back home. I had the same thing happen. I tried to run away from home. And the dudes were like, yo, what you doing out here? And I'm like, yo, man, I'm running away from home, man. They were like, man, you crazy. And they literally picked me back up and carried me back home. Wow. Right? So the question is, do we let this happen within our own culture that has led to where music is today? Like, have we allowed it?
Man. Wow. In a sense, yes. I feel like we have.
Because I don't feel that people have really fought for it.
Yeah.
To say, nah, this ain't the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. Like, nah, we're not going to allow this to take place in... I mean, and growing up, we had the DOS effects. We had the De La Souls. We had... Right. So I'm going... Yeah. I'm going way back.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
But we did. We had the Wu-Tang. We had all the cats in the West Coast. We had, of course, Biggie and Diddy and Mace and Junior Mafia and Nas and all them. But there was a certain level of artistry, a certain level of creativity, a certain level of just protectiveness of the craft. There were rules that they even still follow themselves. And I honestly believe that we have, when I say we, I don't mean me just, Bevon personally. I mean we as a culture have allowed the infiltration of whatever it may be to penetrate hip-hop community and to change it into something that it probably never would have evolved into naturally.
Man, I think that in my own opinion, yeah, we're definitely to blame for it. Because like I said, this was our baby. Like, this is what we created. Like, there was no one else. This is what we created specifically for our people. You know what I mean? And then we just kind of, it's like Kind of the money, but as far as the creative side of things, it still goes back to like everybody kind of wants the fame and the money, right? Like it's not much of a competition anymore. You know, like I'm in this sport. This is my sport. You know what I'm saying? I'm an athlete in my sport. So like you're not walking in my gym dropping 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but my goal is to walk in yours and I'm dropping 30. So it's like you got to put your best defense up. So like for me, like that's why I will always treat it the way I do. It's solely because there's nothing like having someone say, man, you sound like so-and-so. And it's like, what? So now I'm trying to go back and I might listen to the artist just to find out, like, where'd you get this? You know what I'm saying? Like, where'd you find this? Like, how do I continue to innovate? Because this is the thing. And it's funny. I feel like from my studying of music, it's always happened across the genres. You have the innovators, right? And then you have the followers that's just trying to gain off of the one that innovated, you know? So, and
that's in every sense, business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is the thing about it. The one who innovates is who stays. It's the followers that fall off. Because you followed me so much and for so long that you haven't even came up with a game plan to know, like, at some point you're gonna have to rebrand. Yeah. At some point you're going to have to like reposition yourself and present us in a whole nother way, you know. But that never crossed their mind. So then when you hit that wall, exactly, you solely chasing after the money. And then you hit the wall and it's like, what do I do? And then you fall off. And we're like, man, whatever happened to so-and-so? He gave us about 4 songs and we ain't heard from him.
Yeah, we heard from y'all. You know, he working at the Foot Locker.
Right.
You know, real
still
word.
Hey, still releasing music.
Still releasing music.
I ain't checking for him because, bro, you still sound like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, I mean, the game actually has like a 5-year, like it has a 5-year run. That's the cycle. You know what I mean?
Today it has a 5-year run.
It has a 5-year run. You have to, and... Wow. I'm sorry, I just gave away. I just gave game.
You just like I said, y'all don't even understand. He just gave wow. Yeah. That's why we're keeping this conversation going, because he's giving stuff after stuff after stuff after stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
After stuff.
It really does. It has a 5-year transition. And right around 3.5 to 4 years, you hear it, you see it, you see where it's starting to change over, and those that innovate, they're still kicking.
That's right.
It's the ones that's been playing tag along the whole time. They start to drift off, and we get introduced to like these new cats. And like now, I just think like, you know, I'm not sure what far as corporate hip hop is, like what the plan is. You know, like, I think they're just trying to, I do know what the plan is. It has far less to do with music. It has more to do with influence. So if you have social presence, you know what I mean? You could do the most reckless stuff and can't write a bar. It don't matter.
It don't matter.
Like, but you got
influence.
You got 100,000 followers on your Instagram.
47 million.
We gonna sign you.
Followers. And no matter what you say and do.
It don't even matter. And they're not signing artists. They're not, and the cats that they're signing, they're not making music. Like they're literally taking them just so you can put them on your YouTube or your television shows, because now no one watches TV anymore. Truly, right? Just following, you know, understanding how everything shapes. Because music, like I said, it's just a vehicle. It's not the destination. Like, music has always been the car you hop into, and it takes you to your television network. It takes you to the radio station. You know what I'm saying? It takes you to that political platform, i.e. Killer Mike. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, I don't know how many Killer Mike days we gonna have, man. You know, how many cities, but he making a killing, and he ain't making no, you know, like,
but that goes back to how the foundation of hip hop began, and the voice that hip hop had, as far as that was our political voice.
Correct.
That is what we used to express what was going on in our culture, what was going on in our hood. That's how we conveyed our message. And today is, of course, not the same. So that's why you see people like Killer Mike rising up to say, or even Killer Mike, David Banner, Nipsey Hussle. Even back then was Tupac, Old Dirty Bastard.
Facts.
Right? And so each influencer back in that time, and even till now, they're using that voice to still kind of preach that message today.
You know, it's funny. Of course, you know, everybody's gonna talk about Nipsey, but I remember the first time I heard of this cat. Right, I wasn't intrigued by music.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It really didn't have anything to do with music. It was business sense because of where I always aspired to be. Like, I feel like I'm my version of like your Jay-Z. That's probably why I brought him up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you look at somebody like Nipsey, when you understand like the business moves and all, it's like, oh, that's you too. You know what I mean? Like they say, real recognize real. You know, I try not to use that, but
no, it's true to that.
You mirror, you like to mirror yourself after the people that you see. You know what I'm saying? In yourself. And I watched this move of like I'm selling this album for, what was it, $100? And I was like, man, you did what?
Mm.
And then to watch, it's just the belief in self. I said, I'm gonna do it regardless. But also having the proper like business sense to say, not only am I gonna do that, I'm gonna give y'all a free project too. Don't worry about it. The same project, it just ain't gonna have the features on it because I had to pay for these. You know what I mean?
These features.
Right. And just like that's part of the creative sense. And aside from just music, like aside from just business, but the music aspect as well. It's like who you really like see yourself as? Like who do you see in you? Not like going out making the same kind of music, but like, hey, if I'm a J. Cole sound like Nas when he first came out. Now you listen to J. Cole and he's practically the Nas of this generation. You know what I mean? And he'll tell you like, man, I was a Nas fan. I ain't like Hov.
That's why he let Nas down.
My man. Exactly. Because he understood like, man, I knew who I wanted to be, but I'm chasing now you in there. Now you chasing after something that everybody tells you after the fact of like, don't chase after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody tells you beforehand like, bro, don't chase after money. Keep it pure. And I think we all just try to stay true to that. Like I wouldn't be Truzy if I didn't stay true to that. Right. You know what I mean? Like I got a duty. I have a real duty.
That's good to hear. Because not all often do you hear people talk about they have a responsibility and a duty for the message that they are giving through music.
I have to.
Yeah.
Like, you know how many people could possibly like we live in satellite radio world right now, online, internet radio. Like you could play your song and get 2 billion people to listen to your song today.
Back in the day, you could not. It was super hard. Terrestrial radio ran everything, and it was hard to get your albums, songs played on radio. But now, with the advent of internet, you can get your song out in front of everybody.
Yo, so I told you, of course, about my parents. Part of the reason I make the music that I make now is because I had to be able to strategically pick out the right kind of music, right, to listen to, so they wouldn't chomp me off so bad.
Yeah.
So it's like they might be cussing and all the craziness, but you know, listen to what they say.
It's a certain amount of cussing,
right?
If they're not using, the real deep curse words.
I'm finagling.
It's just surface ones that we kind of say and get away with.
Right? And because I grew up on Pastor Troy, and like for us, that was our voice. You know what I mean? For like my Central Savannah River area, CSRA, Aiken, South Carolina, Augusta, Georgia, and all those surrounding like cities. Like, man, he was our voice. His first 2-3 projects, it was our voice. I remember having the music, it was blasting, and my pops just bust in one day, turn that off, and he snatched it out the CD player. And I was just like, what? Like, why you tripping? Why you doing that? And I kind of understand it now in a sense of like of what he wanted me to listen to. You know what I mean? But I got into live sound. That's where we are today.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where we are today. Is the live sound, and I give it's credit to my pops because he would play his music for me and say like, man, you don't know real music. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, real music? Like, you don't know nothing about this. And and it would be like a 4-minute just jam session. You know what I mean? You remember those old records? It'd be like a 4-minute jam session. Wow. Just like hearing no lyrics, no nothing. It's just take it away.
Just take it away.
You know what I mean? And letting the band just and the difference between that and what I was listening to is that I actually felt it. You know what I mean? And now when I still listen to live music, I feel it. I just got off the road this morning from live music. And regardless of how I may be feeling, it just does something to you because you could never truly imitate 100% what's pure. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you really can't manipulate live. Like, wow. Yeah, man.
Wow. Well, Truzy, we had an amazing conversation, brother.
Yeah.
So tell the audience where they are able to find you.
You can find me at I am Truzy on Instagram, of course. That is IAMTRUZY. You could Google me as well at #TRUZY. All caps, no cap. You know what I mean? I'm on, of course, your SoundCloud, your Spotify's and all. Check out the new single, Understood for Show.
Check it out.
Understood for Show. Yeah, that's got a lot of great things in the works. I really, and come on and check us out at Music Room sometime if you're ever in the city. Right. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Come out and check us out at the Music Room. Right. Me and Truzy belong to the same family. So
Writing Sessions
America.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, shout out to Kevin Shine.
Shouts out to Kev.
Hey, and all our fam.
For real.
At WSA.
Yeah, no man. Like that's a great cat, man.
Yeah.
Like that's
yeah.
I'm honored to have him as a mentor. Yeah. I just need a little direction and I don't know I can't necessarily say what's happening right now. I just see it. You know what I mean? I feel it and it's pretty dope. We finna do something.
Oh, I know. I saw a particular post recently.
Yeah.
Of someone who has kind of influential and done some great things within the music community. Put a post up that said, "Truzy is the truth. This dude is next. I guarantee this dude is next."
2020, man.
2020
vision.
Yeah.
Y'all stay tuned. That's all I got. We create music. I need a shirt, man.
I'm gonna get you a shirt. I gotta order some more shirts anyway.
Yeah.
If y'all want a shirt, shirts will be available where you can purchase shirts. We got this design currently, but we may go through a reiteration of the logo. I don't know yet. But yeah. I'm gonna make sure you get a shirt.
I appreciate that.
Let me know the size.
Hey man.
Yeah.
Hey Jack County. I got it. I like to say because this really is probably one of my first real interviews. Like, my brother Ajax, he's pretty dope. You know what I mean? He kind of left us, but he gave us the game before he left us. You dig what I'm saying? So like, I always stay true to it because, like I say, we got a job to do, and it's my job to make sure that his vision is truly manifested in the fullest potential. For real. Long live the GOAT, man.
That's what's up, brother.
For sure.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. We're out.
Truzy.